The last thing I remembered was the sound of screeching tires and shattered glass. Then everything turned white. When I opened my eyes again, the room was too bright. The air smelled of antiseptic, and a dull ache pulsed through every inch of my body. A nurse smiled kindly. "You're lucky to be alive, sweetheart," she said softly, adjusting the Roman 4-line. "Your car was totaled." Alive, the word echoed in my head, but it felt hollow. I tried to speak, my throat dry and raw. "My parents, are they here?" She hesitated, eyes flicking down to the clipboard. "No visitors yet, dear. Maybe they're on their way." I nodded weakly. They had to be coming. They always said family came first. But hours turned into a day, then 2, and no one came. I woke up to the hum of machines and the quiet shuffle of nurses. My best friend Rachel had dropped by with flowers, her eyes full of worry and warmth. "Emily," she said, holding my hand, "I tried calling your parents. They didn't answer. They must be traveling." I said automatically, though I didn't believe it myself. When Rachel left, I reached for my phone from the bedside drawer. Notifications filled the screen, dozens of them. I opened Instagram, desperate for a distraction, and that's when I saw it. A photo of my parents and my sister Sophie, grinning in matching sunglasses, drinks in hand, standing on a sunlit beach. The caption read, "Family vacation time, so blessed to be together," read. Sun-family love-happiness. My heart stopped. I scrolled down, seeing picture after picture, Sophie in a flowing white dress, Mom posing by a seaside cafe, Dad grinning next to a yacht. The post was dated 2 days after my accident. I could feel my pulse hammering in my ears. My hands trembled as I scrolled further, searching for something, maybe a mention of me, a simple "get well soon, Emily," in the comments. But there was nothing, not even a text. The betrayal burned through me like fire. I lay there, motionless, the sound of the heart monitor mocking me with its steady beep. How could they smile while I was lying here, broken and alone? That night I couldn't sleep. My mind replayed every memory, the times I'd rushed to help Sophie with her college applications, how I worked part, time to buy Mom her birthday gift, how Dad once said I was too emotional. Whenever I tried to open up, I used to think they just didn't understand me, but maybe they just didn't care. When the doctor came for rounds the next morning, he said cheerfully, "Good news, Emily. You'll be discharged in a week if your recovery stays on track. You have a good support system, right?" I forced a smile. "Yeah, I lied. The best." On the 5th day, I gathered the courage to call my mother. My voice was weak but hopeful. "Mom, it's me. I've been in an accident. I was in the hospital. Didn't you?" "Oh, sweetie," she interrupted, sounding distracted. "Yes, Sophie mentioned something about it. Are you okay now? We're just in Santorini, you know, and the Wi-Fi's awful here." My throat tightened. "You're still on vacation?" "Well, yes. We planned this for months. You know how rare it is to have everyone together. Everyone." "Except me. I could have died." I whispered. There was a pause. Then she said, "Don't be dramatic, Emily. I'm sure the nurses took good care of you. We'll visit when we get back." And just like that, she hung up. When the call ended, the silence in the room felt heavier than before. I stared at the ceiling until my vision blurred. The pain from my injuries didn't compare to the ache inside me, a deep, twisting realization that I wasn't part of their picture, perfect family love. I deleted their vacation photos from my feed. Not because I didn't care, but because I cared too much. That night, I made myself a quiet promise. If they could smile while I suffered, I would learn to smile without them. If they could live their best life without thinking of me, I would build a life they could only dream of being part of. They abandoned me when I needed them most, but one day they would need me. And that day, they'd remember the daughter they left behind in a hospital bed, staring at a screen full of their smiles. The hospital felt colder after that call. I spent the next few days staring out the window, watching other patients receive visits, flowers, hugs, laughter. Every door that opened, I hoped it was them. Every footstep in the hallway made my heart quicken, but no one came. When I was finally discharged, Rachel picked me up. I remember limping down the corridor with my crutches, every step aching not just from the accident, but from the emptiness inside. "Emily, you're coming home with me," she said firmly. "You shouldn't be alone." I smiled weakly. "I'm fine." "No, you're not," she replied, her voice cracking. "You almost died, and your family didn't even show up. That's not okay." Her words hit harder than she knew. But I couldn't cry anymore. My tears had run dry. When I returned to my apartment, it was eerily quiet. Bills were piled on the counter, half finished sketches scattered on my table, the remnants of a life I had before everything fell apart. As I lowered myself onto the couch, my phone buzzed again. It was a notification, Sophie's new post. The caption read, "Couldn't ask for a better family vacation. Love my parents so much, red # blessed # family goals." In the photo, Sophie sat between my parents, smiling as if they hadn't just abandoned their other daughter in a hospital bed. My chest tightened until it hurt to breathe. I clicked the comments. "Such a beautiful family. Your sister must be so jealous. You all look perfect together. Perfect." That word twisted inside me like a knife. Lying in bed that night, I let memories flood back, moments I'd long buried. When I was 10, Dad missed my school play because Sophie had a piano recital. "Your sister needs the encouragement more," he'd said. At 15, Mom forgot my birthday dinner because Sophie was sick. In college, when I called home crying after losing my scholarship, Mom's only advice was, "Maybe if you were more like Sophie." It had always been that way, me, the quiet one, her, the shining star. And I had spent years trying to earn the love they freely gave to her. But now, lying there with bandages on my ribs and scars on my hands, I finally saw it clearly. I was never really part of their version of family. The following weeks were slow and lonely. I struggled to move, struggled to eat, struggled to smile. But Rachel never left my side. She helped me shower, cooked for me, and told me I didn't owe anyone an explanation. "Let them go," she said one afternoon as she helped me change my dressings. "Sometimes blood isn't family." Her words sank deep. So I started focusing on small steps, physical therapy, reading, drawing again. The pain slowly became fuel, something to push against. I even got a job offer, part-time work designing event invitations for a local company. It wasn't much, but it felt like the first brick in rebuilding the life I deserved. One evening, after a long therapy session, I got a call from Mom. My heart jumped. Maybe they were finally checking in. "Emily, sweetheart," she began sweetly, "we're back from the trip. You're okay now, right?" "I'm managing," I said carefully. "Good, we were thinking. Could you help Sophie design the invitations for her engagement party? You're so creative, and it would mean a lot to her." I froze. "You want me to work on Sophie's engagement?" "Well, yes," Mom said lightly. "You're good at these things, and family helps family, right? Family." The same word that had meant nothing when I was in pain. Something in me hardened. "I'm sorry, Mom," I said quietly. "I'm focusing on my recovery. I can't help right now." There was a pause. Then her tone shifted, clipped and cold. "I see, still being difficult, I suppose. Sophie always said you liked to play the victim." I swallowed the lump in my throat. "Goodbye, Mom." I ended the call and sat there in silence, staring at my shaking hands. For years, I had begged for their love. But at that moment, I felt something break, and something else begin. I no longer wanted their approval. I wanted peace. Over the next few months, I threw myself into work. I learned how to design full event concepts, planned small weddings, coordinated birthdays, slowly earning a name for myself. People appreciated me. They valued my talent. For the first time in my life, I didn't feel invisible. One day, As I looked at my calendar filled with bookings, I whispered to myself, "You don't need them to be proud of you. You'll make yourself proud." I didn't know it yet, but the world was already turning in my favor. And when fate brought Sophie and my parents back into my life, they would see just how much the forgotten daughter had grown. 2 years passed, and the scars on my body faded faster than the ones in my heart. But I learned something about scars. They don't just remind you of pain. They remind you that you survived it. I had turned my pain into something beautiful. What started as a small freelance design job became Aurora Events, a full-scale event planning business. I worked day and night, learning everything: floral arrangements, lighting, budgeting, venue design, guest coordination. Every client I served was a reminder that I could build something from nothing. Word spread quickly. My calm demeanor and attention to emotional detail made my events special. I wasn't just creating parties, I was crafting memories. Within a year, Aurora Events became one of the most sought-after companies in the city. I never posted about it online. I never reached out to my parents, but sometimes, late at night, I'd glance at their